Want to know how to increase sales with existing customers? Did you know that it is more expensive to sell to a brand new customer than it is to sell to an existing one? If you like profits, which I do, and I'm hoping you do as well, then you definitely want to know how to increase sales with the people you've already got. So welcome back to the channel. You are in the right place. I'm Amy Walker, Client Acquisition Specialist and the Sales Doc, where I am diagnosing your sales woes so that your sales can be sick in a great way. Do you know what CLV is? This is your client lifetime value number. And that is a really good number to focus on as we're talking about this goal of selling more to the clients we have, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. So in this video, my intention is that we're going to go through and help you understand the numbers that you should be tracking, but we're also going to give you the strategies that you should be using to sell more to the clients that you already have. We are going to be talking numbers again because I truly think that you cannot run your sales without understanding the numbers. So we talk about numbers a lot on this channel, but here's what I know to be true. Your customers don't stay with you for a long time because you know your numbers. Your customers stay with you because you create amazing experiences for them. And so as we go through and we look at both sides, what's the data that we should track? What is it telling us? How do we make better decisions based off of that? We also have to, on the flip side, go and look at it and say, what are we doing to create amazing experiences for our clients so that they absolutely love working with us and want to work with us even more? We got to look at both sides of the coin, and if you stay with me until the end, you're going to have that full picture. Okay, let's start off with the numbers. The first one is the CLV, which is your customer lifetime value. This is the annual profit per customer times the number of years that they stay with you, minus the cost of client acquisition. So if you look at a customer and you say, okay, this is how much the customer buys from me, this is how much it costs to fulfill that service or that product, that gives you the profit. Then you say this, the average customer stays with me for 5 years. So after 5 years, this is how much they're worth. And then you look at how much did it cost you to get that client and you subtract that out, and then you have the CLV number. The next is the cost of customer acquisition number. And this, I actually am not even going to tell you how to figure it out. I'm just going to tell you to go download my Ultimate Marketing Calendar because it has a formula built in to figure this out for you, and it will tell you how much it costs you to get a new customer. Now, the third number that we've got to pay attention to is the new customer value. So this is the average first deal. And what you can do for that is you can look at all new sales for the month and take that total number, divide it by the number of people that purchase from you, and that's going to tell you what a brand new customer is worth to you. Now, we need to know these numbers, so I would pause this video, I would do the math, and then keep moving forward because you want to know how to use those numbers and really elevate the sales through looking at how can we increase all of them. So I want you to pause and actually figure out those numbers right now, because sometimes in the process of saying, well, we want to increase sales, we focus really heavily on new customers, but that number of how much it costs to get a new customer is the same no matter if it's a brand new customer or if it's somebody that we already paid that cost a year or two ago. In fact, actually, it's not even the same. That goes up over time. This is one of the reasons why it's so important when you're focusing on increasing sales to really pay attention to the people who are already there, because you've already paid for them to be there. We might as well continue to sell more and continue to make more profits. So I'm going to go over 6 different strategies that you can use to sell more to the customers that you have. 3 of them are going to be for service-based businesses, and 3 of them are going to be for product-based businesses. If you are a service-based business, here's the first thing that you can look at. Number 1 is keeping them for more months, like more time, more months, more years. How do you do this? Selling packages is one way. Let's say that you have a monthly membership site and they pay you $79 per month and they get a punch card or they get access to a site or a service. Well, could you sell them 4 months at once? Could you sell them 6 months at once? Could you sell them 12 months at once? And the way that you decide the intervals of how much you're going to include in that bundle is that you look at when are the natural cancellation points. So I was working with a client once and they were like, we're selling this 6-month program, but by the time we get to 6 months, everyone feels very complete and they feel like they've got what they needed. And I was like, okay, well, let's look at this then. And so what we did was we started selling it as a 5-month program, because then what would happen was people stayed happily engaged until the end of 6 months. And so by selling it at 5 months, they still felt like they needed a little bit more. And so they bought again, and now they stayed for 10 months and they were getting farther in terms of their client progress than when they were leaving at 6. But just that psychology of at 6 months, they were at a place where they felt very complete. At 9 months, or 7, 8, 9 months, they were at another place where they felt like they'd reached that next level of challenge and they really valued that help and support again. So pay attention to the places where your clients naturally cancel or drop off, and then base those packages around trying to keep them engaged a little bit longer. The next thing that you can do is you can sell them into different product lines. And I do think it's helpful to have different product lines in your service-based business. So let's say that you clean gutters. Okay, so cleaning gutters, that's one service. Your clients are going to need to have that done 1 to 2 times per year, depending on how many trees they live next to. But what else do they need done? Well, another line of service that you could add in could be pressure washing. And so now you have an opportunity to not just go out twice a year, but you have an opportunity maybe to go out 4 times a year. Twice a year for the gutters, twice a year for the cleaning off their siding. And here's the thing, I am always having to find a new person to do this because nobody ever follows up with me to book me again. I wish this particular service would put me in their funnel and be like, how can I sell more to that person? Because if they would just get me on the calendar, man, I would do it. Same thing with like my tree lady that comes out and does all of my bushes twice a year. If she had another service that she offered, I would do more of it, but I don't need my bushes trimmed more than twice a year, but I genuinely love her. She is delightful. She does an amazing job. I love that she's this woman-owned business that is doing a predominantly male industry. I love all that. I would buy from her more if she had additional lines of service. The third thing that you can do to sell more to them is solve the next problem that they have. So for example, I'll use my products and services as an example. We have a program that helps people be able to launch and start selling. Then we have a program that helps them be able to scale their sales and marketing. And then we have a program that helps them with their team, their org chart, and really structuring themselves for growth. We're solving the next problem. So once we help someone launch something, the next problem they're going to have is they want to grow it. And then after they've grown it, the next problem they're going to have is our infrastructure is not big enough to support everything that we have coming through. We need more help. We need more people. So if you'll look at it and say, okay, when I solve this problem, what is the next problem that they have? And then what is the next problem that they have? You'll be able to continue adding in solutions for those clients. Just this year, we've added in an agency. So now we have, once we've elevated people to a certain point, now we have a full service marketing and sales agency that they can utilize to then we'll run the team for them, right? So we're just looking at it and saying, what's that next level problem that we can serve so you can keep your people moving with you for longer. All right, let's get into the product side of things. The first thing with products is to anticipate reorders and utilize Autoship. Here's a great example. I am almost out of my foundation. I'm gonna have to buy foundation, and it would be sure nice if somebody knew that I was about to run out and actually was like, hey, I see you're about out of your foundation. Would you like us to send you a new one? Why, yes, I would, because I have not had time to get online and order it. But I would love for somebody to reach out or just put me on an auto ship where they say, you go through foundation I don't wear it all the time. So it takes me a good while, like 9 months to go through a tube of foundation. But if they would just send me a new one every 9 months, I would be a happy camper. It would make it easier for me, and I would buy more overall because I would not brand hop, because I'm getting what I need when I need it. The next is to cross-sell different product lines. Just like we do on the service side, we're gonna do the same thing on the product side. So let's say that your product is, now my brain is in a makeup mode, so we'll stick with that. Let's say you sell cosmetics. Well, do you also sell skincare? Do you also sell body care? Do you also sell supplements? So we want to be able to figure out where people want to start, and then we want to test the waters with some of our other product lines and see if we can get them using more of everything that we have to offer. How do we do that? We continue to market to our existing clients, introduce them to things that maybe they wouldn't have heard about otherwise. And then the third thing is strategic product pairings. So show people what goes really well together. If I'm at Home Depot and I'm doing a project, I sure would love if the store was organized where they're like, oh, we say that you bought this. Have you also considered this, this, and this? And they're showing me all of the things that are going to be useful with the tool that I just bought. Like, I hate when I buy a nail gun and then I have a hard time finding the nails that go with my nail gun. Why can't they have the nail gun right there and then tell me, here's the nails that you need to go with it, here's where to find them, and they're like, it's easy. I don't have to go looking around. So make it easy for your people to see the adjunct products that pair well with what they just bought. I bought a bag, here's the shoes that match that bag. You just bought this chair, have you considered this rug with this chair? Like, show them what works good together. Don't make them go searching for it on their own, because if I'm redecorating a living room, you better believe I'm looking for a rug, and I'm looking for a chair, and I'm looking for a sofa, and I'm looking for a plant, and I'm looking for artwork, and I'm looking for curtains. Show me the whole room, and I'll probably buy 50% of it. Okay, let's get into it. Customer experience. Let's go through what we can do to really create an amazing customer experience so that our clients want to stay with us for a long time. Because how many of you have left a product because you had a negative customer experience? Or you have moved to somebody else because you felt like they appreciated you more, right? We spend sometimes so much effort on getting a new client, and then it's like we treat our existing clients like they're just transactional. And it should not be that way. We should be treating our prospects amazingly well, but we should also be doing the exact same things or more with our existing clients. So the first thing that I'm going to suggest is that you look at your experience and you say, is this a wow experience, or is it an ow experience, or is it a experience? Disneyland is a company that is built off of experience. Now, I personally am more of a Dollywood girl myself, but Dollywood's the same thing. They have created this and cultivated an experience. So when I think about going to Disneyland or I think about going to Dollywood, I'm not just thinking about standing in line and waiting for rides, because that's what a lot of what going to theme parks is, right? But there's a reason why I go and I travel to these theme parks when I have one that's closer to me and it's more accessible and it's less expensive, because I'm going for the experience that they create, not just the product that they have. So I want you to really think about that. What is the experience that you have created? And as a team, sit down and map this out. What would you want it to be like? If you were the client and you were coming up for the first time, how would you want to be celebrated? How would you want to be recognized? How would you want to be treated? And what could you do for yourself that would make it feel like it's a wow and it's a win? The next thing I want you to look at is what happens within the first 24 to 48 hours after they purchase. This is a point where a lot of people go through buyer's remorse. And what happens is they just said yes, they just made the purchase, and then nothing usually happens for the first 24 to 48 hours because we're getting our ducks in a row behind the scenes, right? Like in my business, we have to get contracts set up, we have to get payment plans set up, we have to create their account, we have to get them access to everything, we have to let all of the coaches know, and we're transferring a lot of information behind the scenes, but the client doesn't know that. So the client feels like, I just said yes, I just paid a lot of money, I was sure getting a lot of communication from them before, but what am I getting now? So pay attention specifically to that first 24 to 48 hours. How can you make them feel like this is the best decision they ever made? The next thing I want you to look at is, how do you resolve concerns? I do not expect any business out there to be perfect. It is not possible. But when there is a concern, when there is a problem, how you handle that really makes or breaks the experience that your clients have working with you. Figure out your parameters, figure out how you want to do this well, and make sure that it's something that you really are intentional about and that everyone on the team knows what they can do to make a situation right. And then the last thing I want to encourage you to really look at is your engagement with customers. How often do they hear from you? Are they getting birthday cards from you? Are you sending them thoughtful things? How are you letting them know how much you appreciate them, and how often are you communicating with them, and in what ways? Now, I'm not saying that you need to bombard your customers, because there's certain things that I mentioned the lady who cuts my bushes every year. I don't necessarily need her to send me a newsletter update every month, right? But I would appreciate certain things like Christmas card or like a birthday card. I would appreciate a when she's in the neighborhood, like a drive-by picture, like, hey, I just saw that your bushes are looking great. Great job this year. Like there's just little touch points that would make it feel like I'm a valued customer versus somebody who comes by twice a year. And I don't even know if they like really remember that much about me because they kind of show up and go and I just pay them, right? So what are the things that you can do to go that extra mile and have those extra touch points so that your clients know how much you value them? You might think they know, but that doesn't mean that they actually know. If you're not sure, maybe ask them. Ask them for what types of things they would like. What would they appreciate? How can you show up better for them? And listen to what they say and build that into your plan, because it really does take a great plan to create a wow-like experience. Hey, if these tips are helpful, make sure that you like the video and then go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notifications so you can get notified every time we release new content. If you want more sales tips, make sure you go grab a free copy of my book. It's called the I'm Not a Salesperson Sales Book, How to Sell Like a Natural Even If You're Not. And you can go get a free digital download. All right, now you know how to sell more to your existing customer base. And I honestly hope by this point in the video, you're like, wow, why have I not been focusing on this my whole life? Like, this is the way to go, because it really is. But now that you've learned that, the next thing I want you to learn is how to scale your sales. So go check out our How to Scale Your Sales 15-minute masterclass. You're going to learn everything that you need to know in order to look at the systems, the strategy, the team, the people, to really grow a robust and very consistent business. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.